the next set of presenters, Satomi and Dr. Chikurinchi. Satomi is also a doctor, but I know her well. So why don't you introduce yourselves and you can start.
Okay. Well, ちくりんじ先生、パワーポイントシェアしていただけますか？ So yeah, while he's gonna be uploading the PowerPoint, yeah, he's gonna do screen share. So I'm Sutomi Shindi. I'm originally from Japan, and yeah, currently professor of special education at the University of Wisconsin River Falls. We actually created this partnership through a collaborative project between the U.S. and Japan, which was funded by the embassy of American Embassy in Tokyo. So yeah, Professor Chikurinji, he was actually my field experience, well, practicum supervisor when I was senior student back in, well, long time ago. So yeah, this was just a great collaborative experience. But anyway, so he and I wrote this chapter, which is about Korean vocational education for special ed students in Japan. And we did that about a couple years ago, but there were more innovative, more inclusive type of projects that were taking place in Japan. So that's what we're going to focus on presenting tonight. So, and the Professor Chikurinji, well, he is a professor of special education. He focuses in intellectual disabilities. And actually, he told me that the number of researchers in the area of intellectual disabilities has been decreasing in Japan. I mean, sadly. So, yeah, the person like Professor Chikurinji is really important. And then we hope to continue to, spread the word, the importance of employment for people with, I mean, especially for, people with IDD. じゃあ、ちくりんじ先生、紹介いたしましたので。はい。So,
これをじゃあ、いいで
Professor
すか
Chikurinji is gonna, yeah, speak in Japanese and I'm gonna be translating in English. Yeah. はい、どうぞ。
はい。今、日本のキャリア教育、職業教育で実現しつつあることを、この図で説明したいと思います。特別支援学校の高等部段階の生徒は、企業などで、2週間程度の連続した実習を繰り返し経験します。
So yeah, through this presentation, we would like to share the collaborative efforts between, schools, like especially special schools and, local businesses and companies. And yeah, we would like to share more information regarding that.
で、左の囲みのとこですけども、実習では、前の実習ではできなかったことができるようになったり、あるいはさらに身につけるべきことがあることを実感したりします。
So high school students at special schools, they go to practicum sites and then they spend a couple weeks and through these experiences, they learn, different types of experiences and then they're able to reflect on their own experience, while they're at work sites.
実習後の振り返りのことも言われましたね。
あ、そうですね。はい。
はいはい。では、今度は右の方ですね。実習以外にも、後ほど紹介するさまざまな活動で地域社会の人と交流するなどで自分の経験を発表し対話すること、あるいは助言を得ることなどを通して自分のことを語るという活動を積み重ねていきます。
So through the practicum, they continuously communicate with people at work. Sometimes, they can be some customers, clients, and through these dialogues and conversation with those clients and other workers, they experience and they gain, various experience. So they start to learn about their own experience and sometimes they find out, who they are.
はい。で、今度、下のところですね。これらの活動と対話によって、自分を多面的に捉えること、あるいは肯定的に捉えること、そういったことを通して、一人一人の生き方として統合していくことができるようになります。自己決定のプロセスと言えます。
So through these conversations and dialogues with other people at work, they learn about their own experience. They learn who they are, and they are able to see themselves objectively. And this process can be part of self-determination.
では少し日本の、特別支援教育について紹介をしたいと思います。
So now we are going to present special education system in Japan.
ここから先は、シンディ先生が全部喋られた方が早いかもしれません。
Right. So yeah, we're just sharing these pictures that show different types of education in special ed. So yeah, I'm starting with the top left. So education for students with visual impairments. So we do have special school that focus on only on students who are blind, students with visual impairments. The top middle is education for students with hearing disorders. So that includes again students, who are deaf and also students with hearing impairments. And again, we have special school that focus only on those disorders. And the top right is for education for students with orthopedic and physical disabilities. And again, we have some schools that focus only on those groups of students. And the bottom, the left and the middle, those pictures show education for students with intellectual disabilities. And usually when we say special schools, the students of those special schools, that includes students with intellectual disabilities. And the last one is education for students with health impairments. Most of the students who are considered in this category, they have significant degree of disabilities. But when we say health impairments in Japan, it's kind of different from like other health impairments in the United States. So that kind of excludes like health conditions such as like ADHD, which is, this is more for like really significant disability. But nowadays there are some students who have um, not so significant disabilities, but yeah, they may be just served in these special schools. 次お願いします。
これもぜひどうぞ。
So yeah, this actually shows the data that includes student number for special schools and special education classes that actually reflect the most recent data. So yeah, as you notice, more than 1 million, uh, you know, students in pre-K and kindergarten, elementary, about 6 million, middle school, about 3 millions, high school, a little over 3 million. So yeah, we do serve a lot of students, who require special education services. And like I said, we do have many special schools. Um, so typically special schools in Japan, they serve those students that have special needs, and they usually have individual education plans. And those schools are part of the public education system, but they are serving only students who have special needs. And some regular schools, they also have sort of like a self-contained type of special ed classes. So yeah, you can see those numbers for elementary and middle school. We didn't include the number in high school. The reason why we didn't have that is compulsory education in Japan is only up to middle schools. So high schools, regular high schools are not required to include special ed classes within the schools. But a lot of special education students, they actually go to high school, but mostly they go to special schools instead of regular high schools. はい、次お願いします。
来すぎた。これはいいですかね。
Yeah, this just briefly shows, yeah, the student counts for special schools. So yeah, you see elementary, middle, high school. Well, yeah, also, yeah, pre-K and kindergarten. Right. Yes. And it shows post-secondary student numbers, which is the most current data. So as you see, the number by disability category. And yeah, we're in this presentation, we are focusing on those with intellectual disabilities, which is highlighted. どうぞ。
では、はい。
Yeah, so we're going to show this short video clip, which is from Hokkaido. It's a special school, special high school. Yeah.
学校の中にある喫茶店を中心に、作業学習が組み立てられています。
The school has their own cafe, and through this placement, students learn different types of curriculum.
これは、特別支援学校の卒業生が、働いているところです。ドラッグストアの店員として働いています。
So this picture shows one of the special school graduates. She's working at this local drugstore. はい、どうぞ。
これも特別支援学校の卒業生が、リサイクルの工場で働いているところです。
So yeah, this picture shows some of the graduates from special schools, high school. They are working at this factory that are tailored for like recycling. Yeah. Okay.
はい。
はい。
日本における、キャリア教育と職業教育の、関係を図で示したものです。本日参加している、菊池先生が作られた図を、少し変えています。赤い囲みのところが広い意味のキャリア教育で、 緑のところが、狭い意味のキャリア教育ですが、これが職業教育と呼ばれています。
So yeah, we're sharing this diagram. This was actually developed by Dr. Kikuchi. He is actually here as the audience tonight with us. And yeah, so he created this model, and then we translated that into English. So this shows the understanding of career and vocational education in Japan currently. So career education is a sort of broad term. So that includes all kinds of, education related to employment, and the type of the career, they like to achieve in their, lifespan, which is, showing in the red there. And vocational education is the, yeah, I mean, it's less broad, that really focuses on, the vocational skill sets, that can be, taught at high school, or at any levels. I mean, both education, focus on, in a way, vocation, but career education is broader, that really focus on like what students like to achieve, what, who they like to be, when they grow up. はい、どうぞ。
はい。じゃあ、ここから、最近のキャリア教育、職業教育の実例を紹介します。
So from this point, yeah, we like to share more recent work related to career education, and its application. So how we have been implementing career education in Japan.
社会や幼稚園、小学校、市民センターなどの協力を得て、他の人に貢献する、そういう活動をしています。
So we are focusing on contributing to the society by getting help from the community, and also, communicating with others in their environment.
えっこれは小学校段階の子どもです。幼稚園の子どもが楽しめるゲームなどを用意して、幼稚園の子どもを招待して、一緒に遊んだりしています。幼稚園の子どもが喜ぶ様子を見て、もっと喜んでもらいたいと子どもは考えるようになります。
So yeah, this picture shows the elementary school student playing with kindergarten students. So this is the beginning of, career education, as for the step. So, this elementary school student, by playing with younger student, so that really promotes the intention to make younger ones, happier, so that they like to become, more creative, to come up with more ideas, so that um, they can be happy together. They can just, they can, make younger students be engaged in playful activities.
今度は中学校段階の子どもの活動です。郵便局のカウンターに飾る鉢植えの植物を定期的に持って行って交換をしています。郵便局の職員、利用者から感謝の言葉をかけられて、鉢植えを育てることの意義を実感します。
So, yeah, this picture is for middle school students at special school. So this activity is about actually bringing plants to local post offices. And they do this service like in a monthly basis. So by engaging in this activity, well, for example, like workers at the post office, they appreciate their work, and also they give you, some positive feedback, which really helps these middle schoolers, in terms of learning how they can be part of the community.
今度、高等学校段階の子どもの活動です。学校で学習している清掃の技術を使って、定期的にバスの清掃、 コミュニティのバスを清掃しに行っています。バスの車内には、特別支援学校の子どもが清掃していることが掲示されています。
So this picture is for high school students at special schools. So yeah, as we mentioned earlier, so some high school students, through their vocational education, sometimes, they choose to learn to do like more custodial type of work. So yeah, these students, as you see, they're cleaning up, the local bus, and helping the bus company. So inside the bus, they actually have a signage which says this bus is so clean because of these special school students.
市民センターの会議室を清掃したり、図書室の本の整理整頓をしたりする活動もしています。
So some high school students, they can be engaged in, more custodial work at the community center. Some of them choose to work for community libraries, so they may be organizing books, and yeah, that's it.
はい。はい。こういう活動を通して、児童生徒の中に育っているのは、自己有用感に裏付けられた自尊感情だと考えられます。
So through these work experience, through this, career and vocational education, like we showed, we believe that the students have been supported by their self-esteem. So yeah, so they feel that they have been contributing to the society, and they feel that the sense of, self-worth as well.
自己有用感に裏付けられた自尊感情は、卒業後に直面するさまざまな困難、例えば失敗をした時などに乗り越える力になることが期待されています。
So students who develop the sense of self-worth, they can be well, they may be able to overcome any future challenges even after they graduate from high school because of these positive experiences.
いこうかな。ちょっと待ってください。いこうかな。
あ、もう一回パワーポイントのところをクリックしていただいて、それで多分。
はい。
あ、
そうだな。じゃあ、これでいきましょうか。
はい。
これでいいですかね。
はい。
はい。この地域に貢献する活動は、さらに、いろんな人たちとの競争に、つながっています。
So next we like to discuss it's called co-creation. So all these activities we have presented that leads to the stage of co-creation, meaning creating, new values with others in the community. はい。
その一つを紹介します。
So we'll show you this video clip, which is one of the examples.
伝わった高等部の3年生をはじめ、特別支援学校、デザイン事務所など関係者が報告のため市役所を訪れました。生徒たちはまず自己紹介の後、モニターで資料を示しながら、障害者の仕事図鑑は企業や地域の人たちに自分たちを知ってもらうとともに、障害者が働ける企業を増やすことなど、政策の目的などを説明しました。今回
So yeah.
これいいですか？特別支援学校の高等部の生徒が、障害者雇用を啓発するための冊子を作って、市長さんの前で発表したところの様子です。 卒業生が働いている企業を訪問して、卒業生、それから職場の人にインタビューをしたことをまとめた冊子です。経営者の、団体である中小企業家同友会が、とか地域のケーブルテレビの会社の協力がありました。
So, high school students interviewed their graduate from, their high school, and they learned about different types of jobs. Their senior students were engaged in, and they created, well, it's called Job Encyclopedia. So, they presented this job encyclopedia to the city, mayor and other senators, and then the broadcast company came and they released the news.
おちょっと待ってください。終わってしまった。
That's his granddaughter.
じゃあ、これは、障害のある人の、農業への就職ですね、就農を促進する活動を表彰する農福アワードの表彰式で出会ったことがきっかけとなって、特別支援学校と農業高等学校の生徒が、協力して、新しいトマトクッキーの、を開発した時の発表会の様子です。
So in Japan, we have some what do I call schools that focus on like special areas. And one of them is the agriculture high school. So students plan to be engaged in like agricultural businesses after they graduate from those high school. So special school students and agriculture high school students, they collaborated and came up with a brand new recipe, tomato cookies, and they actually present it to each other. And then in this picture, they're just trying out those tomato cookies.
農業高校の生徒と特別支援学校の生徒の感想は、満足感、それから達成感を互いに味わい、互いを称え合っています。
So the reflection from those agricultural high schools and special schools, they have been really supporting the sense of satisfaction, and also they really feel they achieve their own goals.
今度はさらに特別支援学校の生徒が、活躍していることを知った地域の小学校から園芸活動の指導の依頼がありました。
So yeah, so local, other local schools learn about their contribution to the collaboration with agriculture, high schools. Now elementary schools, they have invited special school students so that they could learn about agriculture.
特別支援学校の生徒の振り返りからは、小学生に分かりやすく伝えるように工夫したこと、成就感を感じて、次への意欲が高まっていることが分かります。
So, reading their feedback, reading their own reflection through this activity, we can tell those special school students they had a great sense of accomplishment. They also learned how to make things easily understood, especially by younger students like elementary students.
ここからは、企業との競争の動きを紹介します。障害者雇用に積極的な企業は増えてきていますが、雇用することは無理だと思っている企業もやはりあります。そこで、企業の関係者との交流会が設けられています。
So from this point, we would like to show some efforts by the businesses and companies. Some companies still, lagging behind. So they may not be very positive towards hiring students from special schools, hiring individual with disabilities. So special school students, they actually held this meeting with employers, potential, their future potential employers, and they presented their work.
実際に学校で学んでいることを、実演しています。写真の中央では、学校で喫茶サービスを学んだ赤いエプロンをつけた生徒がコーヒーの飲み物のオーダーを受けています。企業の関係者は、特別支援学校の生徒の実演に驚いたという感想を述べました。
So yeah, as you see the student who is wearing a red apron in the middle in the picture, she is the student from special school. So she is presenting her work experience at high school. She learned how to serve like in a coffee shop type of places, and she's taking orders, and yeah, she's bringing like food and beverages to those potential employers, and those employers are really impressed by her ability, and yeah, that's what they shared with us. はい、どうぞ。
で、この写真は、特別支援学校に企業の人が来て、業務を紹介しているところです。生徒がその業務を体験します。生徒は企業には様々な業務があることを体験して、職業観を広げます。
So this is like a career fair at special school. So, well, employers actually come to those special schools and they show different types of, jobs they have. So students get to experience various types of jobs there. Yeah.
企業経営者の全国的な組織である中小企業家同友会の組織内には、障害者雇用に関する委員会が設けられて、啓発活動をしています。この写真は、同友会の全国大会で、そういう障害者雇用の実例から学んでいるところです。
So in Japan, there is this um, it's like an employer organization, especially for like small to mid-size companies. So these employers, well, this is a national level conference of those employers. And then they share their own experience regarding employment of people with disabilities.
障害のある生徒の夢や願いを実現するために、学校以外のいろんな機関が協力するということを目指しています。
So to help students with disabilities, school and other organizations like vocational rehab center, other social service agencies, and more, they support student development to help them achieve their career. So this is a model of that.
今日の発表のまとめを述べます。夢は扉、鍵は私。この言葉に日本のキャリア教育、職業教育の本質は表されていると思います。なりたい、やりたいという夢を育んで、本人が扉の先にある人生、生き方を目指して扉を開けていくことということを支援しようとしています。
So this banner shows the theme of today. So the my dream is a lock. My dream is a door with a lock, and I have the key to it. So yeah, we hope students with a key can open the door, and they can accomplish their dreams. The career they like to achieve. After opening the door. So that's what we hope for.
以上で発表をおしまいにしたいと思います。Thank you for your attention.
Yeah, so that concludes our presentation. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much from the perspective from Japan. We have a time for one or two questions or comments. Rico?
Yes, thank you for your presentation. I think the Japanese special school, especially just special high school, focus on the vocational training, and so that students can gain specific job skills. But do they have the opportunities to learn about independent living or uh, about their rights, about seeing how to use money, how to live independently. That's my question.
竹林寺先生、
はい、はい。お金の使い方を学んでいるかどうか
使い方
というや
とか自
つですね。
立について、はい、
はい。
高校でもやってますかっていうことです。
生活を自立するための、そういうお金の使い方、あるいは、いわゆる身の回りのことを自分でするとか、あるいは誰かに相談をするとか、そういったことは、たくさん学ぶ場があります。
So yes, we do have a lot of opportunities to, to teach independent living skills, to high school students. Yeah.
Thank you.
And Brian?
Having had the opportunity to visit Japan and see a few of your transition programs, I was struck by how so much of the training focused on teams and students working together. Is that something that is specific to transition programs for young adults with disabilities? Or is that something that all high school students in Japan get, that focus on teamwork?
日本に実際来てみて、すごく驚いたことの一つに、日本の子どもたち、学生たちだとか、若者たちっていうのは、そのチームになって、一緒に働いているっていうことにとても驚きました。それっていうのは、特別支援学校の高校だとか、一般的に、若い人たち、日本での、その若者たちっていうのに教えられている、そういうスキルなんでしょうか。
どう答えましょう。そういう、集団で学習する中で、生徒同士が教え合うとか、あるいはモデルとなって、そのモデルを真似ていこうというふうな気持ちになっていくというふうなことは、学校教育ではとても大事にされていると思います。で、実際の職場の中でも、それに似たようなことは起きていると思うんですけども、今、ブライアンが質問されたように、チームでいつも仕事をするんですよっていうことだけの仕事ではなくて、一人一人が独立して、仕事をするような職種も、あったりしますから、必ずしもチーム力をつけるというだけで、ことを、目指した就労というのは行われているというわけではないと思います。
So, in Japan, I mean, in general, teamwork has been, well respected. So, through, like early life of students, they have been, focusing on working collaboratively with others and learning, others' perspectives. That has been the norm. But in terms of, vocational education or career education, that might not be the concept all the time because some types of jobs are really individualistic. So if that's what students are really looking for, they can pursue, their own dreams with that. So, but in some sense, teamwork might be really reinforced depending on the kind of the jobs.
All right,
あ
thank
の、
you.
もし、はい、もう時間がないようですね。あったら、あれば菊池さんとか、今井先生は実際にやってたから実感してるところあるんですけど、参加者のメンバー。もうでも時間来てますよね。おしまいにしましょうか。はい。Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. So I think we have got one more presentation from Japan that Satomi is involved in again. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah. We are running a little bit behind, Satomi. So if you can shorten it just a little bit, if you can.
Yeah. Try
Yeah.
my best.
Okay.
I'm gonna share the PowerPoints here. Here it is. Can you see it?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Here it is. Yeah. Yeah, so it's me again. Now I'm presenting with Reiko. Yeah, so we'll be discussing employment for people with disabilities in Japan. Reiko, would you like to introduce yourself?
My name is Reiko. Hi. I introduced myself in the previous session, so.
Okay. All right. So first we like to start with the the data that shows employment rate of persons with disabilities in Japan. This is actually showing the actual number of persons with disabilities employed by private companies. And as you notice, the data shows the last couple of decades of employment, and the number of employment has been rapidly increasing in Japan. And it also shows different types of people with different types of disabilities, such as, like, those with intellectual disabilities, physical disabilities, and also mental health issues. And just to add, even during the pandemic, so the number of people with disabilities did not lose their employments because of our strict layoff policy. So employers have really strict rules to let go employees, basically. So so that's the reason why we still kept pretty high employment rate. Yeah, a little more data. So the left side of the picture, I mean the chart shows the percentages of people with physical disabilities, orthopedic disabilities. And actually, this reflects the most recent data of those with physical disabilities by age group. So the bottom, the legend actually shows the different age group, starting 19, and then it goes all the way to 65. So yeah, as you notice, obviously, as they, age, the number of physical disabilities increase. And the gray line actually shows those numbers, who work at least like 30 hours or more per week. And the right side of the graph shows the number of, let me just hold on a second. I'm trying to look at the data. Yeah, those with intellectual disabilities. So yeah, there's a spike for those who are younger. So obviously when they graduate from high school, they have the highest employment rate. And then as they get older, there's a dip. Yeah, so that's the trend we see. I'm trying to move to next ones. Yeah, and again, left side shows the number of people with mental health issues. So yeah, with this group, yeah, it's pretty much, same percentages throughout the all age groups. And yeah, this number has been really increased lately. And the last one shows the chart for individual with developmental disabilities. And in Japan, when we say developmental disabilities, that actually excludes those with intellectual disabilities. So developmental disabilities include those with autism, I mean, mostly high functioning, and those who have ADHD. So yeah, again, you see they have big spikes when they are young. And then there's it's going down up to the yeah, age 40, mid 40s. And then yeah, for some reason around 50s, the number goes up. But this actually reflects the number of people with developmental disabilities employed against the population in that generation. So probably that generation had a bigger population. So that might be showing this, little spike up there. Yeah. And I'm showing you just a quick facts about Japan. Just to let you know, Japan is an aging country. So as you notice in the chart there, people who are like, like a midlife and also even those like at 65 or even over, yeah, that population is way bigger than younger population. So this has been a significant issue in Japan. The government has been trying to promote immigration to increase population, but there are a lot of issues related to immigration. So that hasn't been really accomplished. Another quick fact related to employment in Japan. So we have this value that really promotes long-term employment. So some Japanese people, especially those like older Japanese people, they might have worked for like just one company for their entire life, and that has been really valued in Japan. So as they get older, they get paid better. And like I said earlier, because of strict, layoff policy, companies, keep those older people. So that's the trend, and Reiko is gonna take on next one.
Okay. So Japan's general employment system is also different from the one in the US. This graph shows the changes in the number of seishain, its permanent employees, and the hiseiki, non-permanent employees over time. Traditionally, Japanese companies hire new college graduates, train them internally, and provide lifelong employment. In the past, the Hiseki non-permanent track was mainly for women returning to work after raising children. So while gender-based hiring practices are now illegal, Hiseki employment tracks still exist regardless gender. So because companies cannot easily fire Seishain employees by hiring Hiseki workers, permanent workers, employers can adjust their workforce as needed because their employment terms are mostly fixed. So next slide, please. So when it comes to the disability employment, people with disabilities are often hired as Hiseki employees. This graph shows that only workers with physical disabilities are more likely to be Seishain than Hiseki. The Seishain's it's orange one, and the Hiseki is the blue one. So in contrast, 75% of workers with intellectual disabilities are hired as Hiseki, non-permanent employees. Even though the quota system requires companies to hire a certain number of people with disabilities, employment is based on contracts between employers and the employees, of course. So most workers with disabilities are placed in non-permanent positions. So next slide, please. So the quota system, I already mentioned that it's the core of the Japan's disability employment policies. It has actually helped raise awareness and increase job opportunities for people with disabilities. And Japan in 2016 introduced anti-discrimination laws, including reasonable accommodation requirements, when ratifying the UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities. However, since Japanese companies have already made workplace adjustment for over 40 years under the quota system, that these legal changes did not cause major shift in employment practices. A key issue is equal treatment. Many companies design and customize specific jobs for employees with disabilities to meet the quota employment. And also some qualified individuals with disabilities who can perform regular job duties may not be included within the quota criteria. Japan reviews the statutory rate every 5 years. Since 2018, when hiring individuals with mental health issues mandatory, the rate has gradually increased. As shown in this chart, the quota will raise from 2.5% to 2.7% in 2026 next year, meaning companies must continue hiring and retaining employees with disabilities. Next slide, please. So about reasonable accommodation, Japan's definition of reasonable accommodation also differs from the American with Disabilities Act. So in Japan, accommodations are not only intended to level the playing field, but also to enhance a worker's ability to perform their tasks. So there's little distinction between accommodations provided to meet the quota mandate and those granted under reasonable accommodation. So similarly, retaining workers with disabilities often involves modifying job functions, which may also be considered reasonable accommodation. And also, Japan has a job coach system to support both workers with disabilities and their employers. This job coach is trained and certified by the Ministry of Labor, Ministry of Health, Labor, and Welfare. Play a crucial role in workplace adjustment before and after hiring. I'd like to emphasize on the corporate job coach here. There are 3 types of job coaches in Japan, and the corporate job coach system is unique. Companies train their own employees to serve as internal job coaches for fostering inclusive workplaces and enabling employees with disabilities to work comfortably. So
Yeah, I'm just just quickly introducing the idea of like job trainer, which is separate from job coaches. And one of the prefectures, I mean, which is like state in the US, Mie prefectures, they have had efforts on creating job trainer certificate program to support integrating social welfare in an agricultural business. And just briefly, I wanted to mention about involvement of industrial physicians in terms of reasonable accommodations. So yeah, I actually wrote this chapter with Dr. Yoshinaga and Aoki, who are not here today, but yeah, they are so-called industrial physicians, and we wrote this chapter in Dignity of Work. If you're interested, yeah, please read the chapter. So that's a really unique area in Japan. It's called industrial medicine that was encouraged by Japanese government during the early 1900s. Well, the purpose of industrial medicine was to ensure, workers' health, especially, those working at factories. Especially like large scale businesses, those companies had a few industrial physicians, and this system, still persists in Japan. And now those industrial practitioners, they become, important, stakeholders in terms of making decisions for reasonable accommodations for people with disabilities. So they give medical feedback to the team. Sometimes they may make some suggestions, regarding medication, if the workers need some time off because of their disability condition. Yeah, so they have a power to make the suggestion. And lastly, yeah, I wanted to just briefly discuss implications and recommendations in terms of employment of people with disabilities in Japan. So even though like we showed you the charts at the beginning, so employment of people with disabilities have been increasing in Japan, but still challenges persist when it comes to like inclusivity. So some like forward-looking companies like Heartful Project, Reiko and Kyoko, presented earlier, those companies are really looking for inclusivity for people with and without disabilities. But a lot of companies, especially like large-scale companies, might be focusing on meeting their quota to ensure that they have, enough percentage of people with disabilities working for them. But yeah, we really like to see them, pursuing inclusivity. And also that leads to more meaningful employment for people with disabilities. So they can choose their career based on their own preferences and their capacities. We also like to recommend person-centered approach instead of service center or more like employment center type of services. We really want to see Japan focusing on each individual's interests, preferences, their goals and values. And also that leads to self-determination. And when we say self-determination, I mean, not just for self-determination for people with disabilities, um, each employer, and any, team members, they should be, they should be really, visualizing, what they like to accomplish, so they can, exercise the amount of the control over things they like to really see, themselves achieving. So yeah, we hope self-determination can be, really promoted in Japan. And lastly, as I talked about this topic earlier in this Dignity of Work, yeah, so Japan has been exploring, including advanced technology like, AI and robotics, so that area can be really further explored more too. So yeah, so that concludes our presentation and hopefully we caught up. Yeah, exactly, 8:30. Okay.
Yes, thank you for trying to keep us on track. And we have time for maybe one question or one comment for Satomi and Rico. And I
We
know
have
there
one
was-
question in the chat box.
Yep. So for job coach support, does the job coach supports also include those with high functioning autistic ADHD working in corporate environments as IT finance executive? If yes, how does the approach differ from other vocational employment?
Reiko, would you like to
Interesting.
that?
The first question, for job coaches, they support those high function LSTIC and ASD. But the second one, as IT and finance executive, I have no idea about that. Sorry. Satomi-san 知ってますか？なんか
So
different.
yeah, how does the approach, yeah, differs from other vocational employment? Yeah, I'm not really sure. And a lot of times, those who have like ADHD or high functioning autism, they may not be supported by job coaches, because job coaches, support those I mean a lot of those like, with intellectual disabilities. So yeah.
Oh, okay. In Japan, job coaches support high function, those who have high functioning disorders.
So
Great.
yeah, we
Great.
differ. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, I've been
Yeah,
Well,
but,
that might be another topic for exploration and some research.
Yep. There you go.
All right, thank you.